Tipping, a voluntary sum of money given in addition to the base price of a service. At least, that's what it used to be.
The American tipping culture is so financially predatory. It actually makes me sick when I see working class people defend it. Like, can some Americans tell me why you still tolerate this? Can you imagine a British company telling its customers that, yeah, we're going to pay our workers less, and you, the customer, have to now pay the workers' wages, and if you don't, then you're the bad person? Who decided that's the moral thing to do? Like, tipping should be for exceptional service, not to make up the fact that your employer isn't paying you a wage.
Someone said, if tipping is mandatory, then it ain't a tip, it's a fee. Couldn't have said it better myself. Because how are customers getting the blame instead of the company? We're honestly not ready for this conversation. While we argue, the corporations are quietly benefiting. Someone else said, keep the change is how a tip should be. Why are you whipping out a calculator to work out a percentage? Now, I personally don't have a problem with tipping. Go ahead and tip your barber or even your dentist if they'll accept it, or if you think they did a good job, or if you don't. It's your money. I'm just giving my opinion. But anyway, let's get to the fatigue of tipping. Now, tell me why I'm tipping for ordering food from a kiosk, or for grabbing a coffee that someone poured into a cup. And now we have self-checkout machines asking for tips too. We're at the point where an inanimate object wants a tip. Half the time, I'm not even sure what I'm tipping for. What's even crazier is that a lot of places ask you to tip before the service has even happened.
Am I the only person that thinks that asking someone to tip before the transaction is freaking weird? There is a Starbucks near my house in a grocery store that I go to often. Every single time I go there, it's the same guy working, and he asks me my order, the total comes up on the machine, and on the machine it asks you if you want to tip. 20%, 15%, 10%, no tip. Now, this guy has not made my drink yet, so I don't know if I want to tip. I don't know if he's going to make my drink good. I could choose to tip him 20% or $5 or whatever I want to, but then if I get my drink and he made me, do I get some of my money back? Like, I don't want to pre-tip.
Someone said, it's very weird considering it's how you determine how good their service was and not how much you are going to tip to see how well they wait on you. Just think about that for a second. I'm supposed to reward you before I even know if the service is good. At this point, that's a donation. And honestly, I think this is the worst kind of tipping. It puts you in a really awkward position because now you're wondering, if I don't tip, are they going to give me bad service? Maybe they'll put less effort into making your order. Who knows? But I shouldn't have to worry about any of that. Another person said, tipping DoorDash when you order is BS too. Sometimes they screw up the order and bring you the wrong food. I want to tip them after delivery, not before. This is an issue that doesn't get nearly enough attention. What if you can't take back the tip? In other words, you're rewarding poor service. Moving on to the employee's perspective. Now I want to be fair and analyze both sides of this. We're all victims here. The workers didn't create the system. The reason we're even here in the first place is because corporations refuse to pay their workers a fair wage. So I can't blame anyone for wanting tips. In fact, we should tip. It's the kind thing to do. That being said, I do have a problem with some pro-tipping people.
Respectfully, if you think that tipping shouldn't be a thing, you're an idiot. And the next time that you think about going out to eat, why don't you just go ahead and cook? Clean your dishes. Cook your food. Serve yourself. Oh, you don't want to? It's too much work? Oh, why don't you go out to a restaurant and tip somebody to do it for you, idiot?
Okay, where do I even start with this one? We're at the point where we're telling people not to go out to eat because they don't want to give you free money? Make it make sense. If you really need tips that bad, then maybe you should find another job. Seriously. It's people like this that make customers not want to tip. And the comment section definitely didn't hold back. This person said, respectfully, this is one of the stupidest arguments I've heard. Someone else said, if you think you should get extra money from a customer for simply doing your job, you are what you called us. Another person said, agreeing to be paid $2 an hour and then blaming the customers. And lastly, this person said, I'll pay a restaurant what they charge for a meal. Posts like this make me want to tip less and less. That's the problem with this entitlement behavior. It makes people not want to tip. Let's just try to remember that not all workers think this way. I'm hoping that there are still people out there who will give good service regardless of whether a tip is coming. Let's not let the entitled ones spoil it for the rest. But now let's talk about who's actually responsible. The corporations, the people quietly walking away with bags of money while the rest of us argue with each other. Depending on where you eat, the tip you leave might not even go straight to your server. It could get shared with the rest of the staff or go through the restaurant before the workers get it. But instead of asking why the company isn't paying people more in the first place, we're arguing over whether or not a customer should leave a 20% tip. And I've heard the arguments before. Workers won't have any incentive to give good service. Or if we get rid of tipping, restaurants will just raise their prices. First of all, why is it the customer's responsibility to make sure employees are motivated to do their job? You only see this happen in the service industry. Everywhere else, it's do your job or you're fired. And as for the other argument, I think most people wouldn't mind a price increase if they know they're not going to be pressured into tipping. Okay, I know this is a controversial topic, so I tried my best to be fair, but let me know in the comments what you think about tipping culture and what's your craziest tipping experience. This is my first video on YouTube, and I enjoy making videos like this, so if you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.